Have you ever wondered about the unsung heroes who shaped history? Today's episode of Historical Hidden Gems is about one such person, the forgotten female spy who altered the course of World War II. This lady didn't just go unnoticed, she erased her footprints completely until history dug them up years later. Her name was Virginia Hall, an American who became Britain's most daring and elusive World War II spy. If you've never heard of her before, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll see why she's one of the most fascinating figures in modern history. It's the late 1930s, and Virginia Hall is a young woman with aspirations to become a diplomat. Back then, this was a far-fetched dream for women, and, unfortunately, fate made it even more unattainable. While on a hunting trip in Turkey, Virginia accidentally shot herself in the leg. This injury resulted in her lower leg being amputated and replaced with a wooden prosthetic she nicknamed Cuthbert. Any ordinary person might have seen this as the end of their ambitions, but not Virginia. She had a determination that could move mountains and topple regimes. Fast forward to 1940. Europe is in turmoil, and the Nazis are spreading their grip across the continent. Virginia decides to channel her relentless drive into fighting fascism. She joined the British Special Operations Executive, SOE, an undercover espionage organization that Winston Churchill famously referred to as the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. As a female spy with a prosthetic leg, Virginia broke every stereotype and defied all odds. Her mission: infiltrate enemy lines, gather intelligence, and sabotage Nazi operations. Her first major assignment was in Vichy, France, a region controlled by a pro-German puppet government. Equipped with nothing more than her ingenuity, courage, and a tiny transmitter radio, Virginia set off to disrupt the Nazi war machine. She organized resistance groups, provided radio updates to Allied forces, and even conducted sabotage missions, all while evading capture. Virginia quickly earned a reputation among both her allies and enemies. The Gestapo, Germany's secret police, referred to her as the Limping Lady and considered her one of the most dangerous Allied spies. They distributed wanted posters, warning civilians to inform authorities if they spotted her. But Virginia was always 2 steps ahead. How did she manage all this while being physically distinct and famously elusive? It came down to her quick thinking and ironclad nerves. Virginia was an expert in disguises and could alter her appearance so profoundly that not even her closest allies would recognize her. In one instance, she escaped the Gestapo by climbing a 7,500-foot mountain in the Pyrenees on one leg. That's right. While most able-bodied individuals would struggle to scale such peaks, Virginia did it flawlessly with her prosthetic leg after crossing into Spain. The border guards arrested her, but only briefly. Her SOE connections secured her release. But her sacrifices didn't stop there. When the Americans entered the war, Virginia transferred to the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the precursor to the CIA. With this new organization, she undertook missions even more daring. At one point, she disguised herself as an old milkmaid to pose as a local and continued orchestrating attacks on Nazi supply lines. Despite the physical toll, she always maintained an unwavering belief in what she was doing. Now let's pause for a moment to ponder this. Imagine fighting not just war, but prejudice and physical limitations, all at the same time. Virginia didn't just defy the Gestapo. She defied the era's expectations for women, disabled individuals, and anyone society thought wasn't capable of greatness. She proved they were wrong. When World War II finally ended, Virginia had played a monumental role in weakening the Nazi regime. But her story doesn't end here. A lot of people expected her to retire quietly, but that wasn't Virginia's style. In 1951, she went on to become one of the first female officers in the CIA. While the specifics of most of her missions remain classified, her work laid the groundwork for future generations of women in intelligence agencies. Despite her monumental contributions, Virginia Hall remained largely unsung for decades. She was quietly awarded the Distinguished Service Cross the second highest military honor in the United States, but she shunned the limelight. In an era when recognition often ignored deserving women, it's heartening to see Virginia's legacy swept out of obscurity in recent years. Today, Virginia stands as a symbol of resilience, not just as a war hero, but as someone who broke barriers and crushed stereotypes. So why haven't more people heard of Virginia Hall? Partially, it's because she never wanted fame. She wasn't working for medals or headlines, but because she believed deeply in freedom and justice. In a world captivated by stories of male spies like James Bond, the real Virginia Hall was too busy saving lives to fit the glamorous stereotype. And maybe, just maybe, her invisibility was her most potent weapon. Virginia Hall passed away in 1982, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Her story teaches us that greatness doesn't always come with recognition, and that the most extraordinary acts of courage often go unnoticed. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's hidden gems. If this story blew your mind, and if you think it deserves to be told, like, share, and hit that follow button for more historical hidden gems. Remember, history is best when it turns the pages we didn't even know existed.